Just in case we didn't see it on his trunks, we put it on the leg too.
Brandon Lee returning to the ring after 11 months out, after finishing his bachelor's in criminal justice degree from Cal State San Bernardino, said, I was still in the gym, I was still putting work in when I was finishing school, but that was a priority, a promise that I made to my mom that I would get that degree, and I delivered on that promise. But look, boxing is the main thing. It's what I want to do, it's what I've always wanted to do, and now fighting with the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy team behind him, as he gets a nice right hand down to the body here early.
And Aljo doing a lot of movement, a lot of lateral movement, trying to stay away from Brandon Lee's power early on.
Yeah,
Brandon Lee, he's cut the distance, kind of following him a little bit too much. I would like to see him maybe cut the ring more,
Yeah, I think Lee's warming into the fight a little bit. And I think that Araujo just wants to make sure he can get through a few rounds. And
that's what I think. So
for some firepower.
Trying to wear him down a little bit. I mean, Brandon Lee did say in the fighter meetings that, he wants to keep him on the outside. He just wants to box him and get that easy win. But it looks to me like he's trying to get the knockout the way he's pressuring him right now.
Yeah, Araujo was a little bit jittery in the way he's moving as well. I think he could wear himself out a little bit, especially there's not a lot of room. Lee's not going to have to try hard to find him once Lee settles into the fight.
Liga should be looking for that uppercut the way Araujo is leaning forward over that front foot. He's kind of hunched over right there as he tags him with the right hand around the guard.
Yeah, about 30-40 seconds ago, he just missed a counter left hook to the body. I think Lee could also end up touching the body a little bit the way Araujo is bending forward like that. It leaves his liver side a little bit exposed.
A lot of movement by Araujo. Honestly, I don't think he's gonna have the legs to move like that for 4 or 5 rounds. I mean, and sooner or later, Brandon Lee's gonna wear him down. He's invested in some body shots early on. He needs to. And he'll stop that mobility.
Another thing about the movement roll, he's not going anywhere. The ring is small. Where's he going?
Yeah, he's really. I'll tell you what, Brandon Lee really is cutting that ring in half. He's making it a lot smaller for Araujo.
Oh, nice uppercut. There's the uppercut you were looking for, Christina. Nice uppercut on with the left hand by Lee.
A good counter shot right there, just pulling out a distance from that shot from Araujo. You can see the distance too and the reach for both of these guys. Araujo's really struggling to get inside on Lee right now.
I like the way Brandon, he's controlling the distance and he's very patient. He's not in a hurry. He's closing the distance, but he's jabbing. He's slowly, trying to break him down.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not a lot of resistance to Lee. The resistance here is basically Araujo being difficult to find, but hasn't given Lee much to worry about as far as anything coming his way.
Solid first round there in the books for Brandon Lee. See if we can get you into the corners here a little bit more. This one is scheduled for 8 rounds. And you're going to take your time, right, guys? If you're Brandon Lee and you're coming back off a layoff, like you got 8 rounds to work. He has fought a 10-rounder that's on the distance before, but you like the pacing there in the first round.
Yeah, I really do. That's why I say that. I like that he's taking his time, being that he's been off for a while. There's no reason for him to rush. As a matter of fact, he needs the rounds. He needs those kind of rounds after being off for that long.
And also, when you're a guy who's ready for contender status, you bring your level of opposition down here a little bit, and obviously we know why, because of the long layoff. Your reputation tends to win you rounds. Brandon Lee won the first round on his reputation. Araujo was very, very defensive. Why? Because he knows the reputation Brandon Lee has already. He knows it's not a level that he can compete with. So Lee, it's the kind of fight where Lee's going to have to focus on the how he's going to win tonight, because I don't know if the threat of losing is going to be there the way Araujo's mentality is.
Round 2 starts off the jab for Brandon Lee, which is the key part of his game plan, telling us I need to make sure I utilize the jab well. There's that little tricky lead shot shooting like an uppercut. There it is once again. I think he saw what we saw there early as he comes out and uses that as a good weapon here to start round 2.
I'd actually like to see him go from that left uppercut to the left hook to the body, flow with the same hand, because the elbows of Araujo are up high and they come up even higher when the uppercut hits him.
Talking about maybe the jab and swing wide with the left right to the body. Yes, try to stop him in his tracks, because Araujo's still moving around a lot.
Yeah, that'll slow down the legs, right, Ro?
Absolutely. I mean, I think he's just going to slow down because he's doing too much moving around.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, he's trying to hold the ground here for a few seconds, but it's resulting in Lee landing some shots. But
there's a body shot landed from Royo, and then right back he makes a big 2 uppercuts. That one's staggered to Royo here. And he's forced to hold.
Lee does have a big punching reputation. Araujo now is trying to hold his ground, and that's the bad side about holding your ground when you're not on the level. Now you're there for the big shots. Araujo trying to get back on his bike like he was in round one after taking that uppercut.
Bro, what does Araujo need to do here to try to land something of significance on Lee?
He's got to tighten up in his defense, give him a lot of movement, give him a lot more head movement. Try to jab in. I think, Araujo's fight is more on the inside. From the outside, he's getting tagged, I mean, really, honestly, he ain't got a choice. Either way he does, but I think he'll be better off, probably, in the inside. Tighten up his defense and go for broke and go to the body with short shots up the middle and on top. That's what I would do.
Maybe try to maul Lee a little bit,
Exactly,
take some space away from him. He's fighting in an in and out style, but he doesn't have the rhythm in his legs to use that. I mean, he's got a leg that he's moving, obviously, but it's not rhythmic and confusing, his footwork. And not to mention, there's no room in the ring either.
It's like it's not hard to find anybody tonight, that's for sure. Or cut off the ring.
Yeah, if you're gonna fight in an in and out style tonight in this ring, you better have the best in and out footwork of anyone.
I mean, if you look at Araujo, he moves to the left, he moves to the right, he's on the ropes. He moves the other way, he's on the ropes, so.
And also, his movement is not setting anything up. It's just moving just for the sake of moving and surviving.
Kind of like surviving.
Yeah.
Kind of like go running, run the clock. Yeah. Run the clock, he's running the clock.
As Lee lands a nice body shot there and a straight right hand combination. And Lee, again, just taking his time, kind of sometimes even just using that stick as a rangefinder, not really throwing it with much, but every time he throws it, because it's only one step back and you're back against the ropes, you don't have to throw it with much force.
Yeah, exactly. The guy's already there. And again, I'll reiterate what I said at the end of the first round. He's going to win this fight. It's just a matter of how he wins it. Because Araujo came into the fight without a winning mentality. He was running all over the place. And now after being hurt with the uppercut, he's got more of a lesser winning mentality.
The new How to Train Your Dragon menu is now at BK. Get it before it disappears. Oh, don't less. Bold, tasty, and dangerously delicious. How to Train Your Dragon. Only in theaters.
Into making some mistakes where then you maybe can capitalize. Based on the ability that Araujo's showing, that's what I would ask him. Obviously, if there's another guy with more ability, you can dictate different things. But based on Araujo's ability, that's basically all you can tell him. Maybe use your jab a little bit more because he's not really using it.
I mean, sorry about that, but I don't think Araujo is going to change his style. Nah. He's just going to keep running in circles, and now it's up for Brandon. Like, do I settle for decision win, or do I want to go out there and stop this guy and get the knockout?
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Would you like to see a little bit more sense of urgency now that we're in round 3? You've got a couple off for Brandon Lee to kind of pick up that pace just a little bit more now here.
Well, I just heard him in the corner. They said stop following him around. So he is following him around a little bit too much. I would like to see him move to the right, to the left. When he moves to the right, throw body shots.
Yeah.
Stop him in his tracks. Push him back. More activity, more punches and bunches, and then try to land the big shot. See, that's just like 1-2. You let the guy recuperate, and he's running again. I like to see more speed, more flurries, then try to land the big bomb.
Also, I want to see him go back to what he's doing with that uppercut. See, there's shooting it there, because that uppercut is there, and when Araujo slows down, obviously when he's moving a lot, see Araujo now trying to get that chest to chest. That's what he needs to do a little bit more to survive.
Disrupt his rhythm, that just lean his body on him and then smother his shots.
But I will say this: what if Lee doesn't mind going rounds? He's had the layoff,
What
if this is sort of a little bit of a sparring fest session mentality as well?
Possibly, but being the kind of fighter that he is, he's a guy that likes to knock fighters out. I don't think that's the mentality. I really think he wants to get him out of there.
Another thing about Araujo, he's on the front foot all the time. So again, that's another reason why he's susceptible to the uppercuts.
Deflecting some of these shots here from Lee, who is just kind of content right now and following him around. But a lot of that extra upper body movement from Araujo. But not really throwing enough punches.
I'll tell you another way you track a guy that got out down. You obviously you're gonna try to cut him off, but also use throwaway punches. Araujo's reacting to everything. You gotta use some throwaway punches to put him in a position to hit him with the harder punches because he's so defensive that you're not able to hit him perfectly with the hard shots you want to hit him with. So if you only throw hard shots, he's gonna get away from them or get away from some of them. If you use some throwaway punches to sort of position him for the alternate hard shot, you may catch him because he's reacting to everything now.
Right, so put the jab out there.
Yeah, or even maybe put a hook to his right and then move him over into your right hand, or throw a right hand to his left so that he doesn't go that way. He goes back towards your hook. Something.
Kind of bait him in and set him up, then, for the big.
Or he does, he has quite a bit of sponsors on his trucks. Maybe he wants to give them some shine too, right? Give them some time.
It's working.
Right. Shout out to G and the Memory Lane crew. Getting him all those sponsors. But a lot of people bought a lot of stock in Brandon Lee, and he's built himself up, rightfully so. And now we're gonna see round 4.
Time.
Felipe's telling him, I want you to go to the body harder. Tap, 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 change your pace, change your rhythm, and then tag the body hard, because that was what was hurting him early in the first round, guys.
And I do think targeting the body here, you're not getting much resistance, so you can basically have your pick of where you want to go. Targeting the body is something that I think could go a long way here for Lee. But again, I'll reiterate, I think you need to use some throwaway punches to set up these shots.
There you go, he's up there. Got caught with a counter shot there as he kind of opened up wide on that combination, but
I think Lee is getting a little bit frustrated from the running, because they're trying to push him in the corner to apply more pressure, more body shots, but he's got to take his time at doing it too. You can't rush in there. He rushed a little bit right now. He got caught by
there's a nice body shot there that he landed.
He needs more of that. Both sides of the body, not just one side.
And now it was set up by a nice throwaway right hand. That's what I'm talking about.
That's exactly what you called for, Paulie.
Yep.
There you go.
Sitting down a little bit more on the shots too, guys.
And those body shots slow the round down a little bit. Maybe he's not as quick to use his legs so much.
Tell you what, he needs to focus just one round, just all body shots, probably behind the jab. Get close and go to the body. Hit the arms.
I'd still like to see that.
That'll stop him.
I'd still like to see that combination I called for a few rounds ago with that left uppercut with the same hand, switch it over to a left hook to the body. Because it's bringing up the elbows of Araujo when Lee throws that uppercut up the middle. So you can quickly switch it from a left uppercut to a left hook to the body.
Lee is managed by David McWater, and he's signed with Queensberry Promotions, where he sent him over to the O2 Arena in his last fight, which was a win against Juan Anacona. That was his Queensberry debut, and now you're on the Top Rank card.
Lee is on the with Queensberry.
Yep, he's with Queensberry.
Frank Warren grabbing guys from California. Look at that. The world really is getting globalized in boxing.
You didn't see that one coming, did you?
No, you know what it is? I guess I should, because you're seeing more and more of that all the way in the business of boxing. When we came up, bro, the big promoters in our region signed us. In America, you were signed with Top Rank. You were signed to?
I was with Main Event, Top Rank,
which is a big.
Back when Main Event was big, yeah.
And Warren used to get all the big British guys.
British guys, yeah.
Hey, but you gotta expand your
horizons. That's what the internet has done. It's allowed them to see all the talent. Streaming TV as well. Right now, you can watch all the fights you want and start picking up guys from all over the world.
That was 2 nice left hands there for Lee. 30 seconds left here in round 4.
I'll tell you what, Araujo's movement, and he's got a lot of awkwardness too. is helping him survive all these rounds.
It is.
That's all he's doing. You know, he's giving Lee the rounds that he.
But that's what I said in the open. They knew what they were doing. They didn't come
Yes.
here. All right, neither fighter down in this fight, and Araujo looked more significantly hurt from some of those body shots early in the first round, but since then, you know, has held his own. I don't believe he's won any of these rounds, guys, but
Not at all.
it looks a lot better now than how it started in the first
he's
round.
settling in at least.
Yeah.
But I think it's time for, like, if Lee really wants to, you know, get the stoppage, I think it's the time now. Like, really start sitting up on his shots, apply more pressure, more activity. He needs more of that. See, he's single punching too much, Paulie. You know, we need those fast, explosive combinations. Fast. Then go to the body again, load up with big shots.
You know, it's hard to throw a combination on a guy like Araujo because he's out of there and he's also awkward, so you just find him with different punches. So that's why, again, I keep saying you gotta use throwaway punches first. First, you gotta put him in a position. If you're not doing step A, it's hard to do step B. I think you gotta use the combinations, but first you gotta put him in a position where you can throw a combination.
It's almost like
he's awkward.
you're baiting him to do the wrong thing by putting those punches those throwaway punches that you're talking about, right?
Yeah, and instead if you throw the hard punches right away, then you can't really follow him because he puts himself already in a bad
And he
position.
knows the hard punches are coming to you, sometimes you telegraph
He's
him.
prepared.
Was definitely gets the work, you know, he's wanted. I mean, it's 5 rounds already, so yeah. It's good. It's good after being off for a while.
Down to the body with 2 right hands and a nice right cross there up top from Araujo, who has really not landed much of any significance here through the first 5 rounds, as Brandon Lee has maybe stepped off the jab a little more than he would have liked to, talking about keeping him on the outside, looking to counter was part of the game plan for Brandon Lee. Kind of patter with some of these shots.
Yeah, I think now he's trying to maybe put him in a position, but because he's using pitter patter, he's trying to use those.
I think he's better at short distance than long distance. You know,
Well, that shouldn't be hard in this size ring.
Right, he's giving Lee the distance, you know. And that's what Lee wanted, you know. That's why he's picking him apart from the outside.
Back to the stick for Lee. Doubling up on it there.
Nice body shot.
Ooh, threw that one hard, and that one might have been a little bit low as Araujo takes to the canvas after that shot.
Yeah. It might have also been, sometimes those low blows happen because you get your head pushed down. I want to see if Araujo's hook went behind the neck of Lee and pushed him down. And sometimes those low blows are caused because your own head got pushed down.
Let's see if we can get a shot on that on the replay, but he's definitely taking some deep breaths here.
It was so fast, I don't know if it was a...
Here we go.
It was on the opposite side of us.
Okay.
Lee's body was blocking our view. Yeah, it was low.
Just grazed, yeah.
Yeah, was it on the waist?
Fine call.
It was a little bit below the white part of it. It wasn't.
But when you do get hit there...
Yeah, it wasn't totally on the knee. Yes,
right,
I
it wasn't
understand.
right in the money, you know what I mean?
But you have your ligaments there. That's like right on the hip. Let me see if also.
Ligaments.
No, see his head pushed down too though. You see the Araujo's arm is also around the neck of Lee. That also, like I'm telling you, a lot of those low blows are caused by that when the opponent has his hand behind your neck and he's following through with a missed punch. And it kind of pushes your head down, and you're on your way with your counter. Now your counter strays low because you're getting pushed down yourself. Yeah, it's right up, where the hip connects with your ligaments and
Yeah, and then you got the cuff there where you can pull it. Yeah, I mean, come on.
I'm gonna defer to you guys for the anatomy of
No,
this.
yeah, because it's not the anatomy people are thinking about. Sometimes the low blow when you get hit in the ligaments, like even on the side of your hip sometimes, man. I mean, dude, it get dead into your leg. Yeah, where you got hit? You didn't get hit right underneath where you're thinking. Like you got hit on the.
Do you think he wants to continue, guys?
I don't know. He's walking around like he got hit. But he's not.
Yeah, he's not.
Come on,
All right, so maybe he's acting a little bit. So I was
he is.
All right, here we go. Action will resume after the
But
anatomy lesson from Paulie Malignaggi and the ligaments of the...
But I'll say the low blow also was triggered. The low blow was triggered by Raul too. That I will say.
Yeah.
He pushed Brandon's neck down.
Kind of changed the trajectory of the punch there. In other words, he'll get some more rest now on the stool in between these rounds. Still to come tonight, Damian Kneba taking on Marcin Siwi. That is coming up in the next fight. Then Jai Tucker versus Lorenzo Truck Simpson in our co-main event. And then the main event tonight, scheduled for 10 rounds in the middleweight division, Vito Mielnicki Jr. taking on Kamil Gardzevic. Yeah, a little more sense of urgency from the Lee corner in between those two rounds. I think that they want him, and I think even in the last round, wanted him to pick it up a notch, and they want him to go right back to the body.
Which is the right thing to do when a guy, gets, saying that he hit him low blow and it really wasn't like that. Probably, I think I would go right back downstairs again. That's
they were like just body.
Exactly. All body shots. Body shots, arm shots. Stop him in his tracks.
Body shots take a fight out of you quick.
I mean, honestly, I think Araujo's there to be taken, Paulie. If Lee maybe, puts a little bit more sense of urgency, a little bit more, more pressure, more activity, I think he could get him out of there. Look, Araujo's not moving it. Now he's a little bit more stationary.
Yeah.
He's got him right there. That's what he wants him.
It's going to be an opportunity. He is smothered now. He's different survival tactics. But he's been surviving from the start. I mean,
and after 6 rounds of following him around, and then he smothers you.
That
frustrates a fighter, So you got to know how to control those emotions,
Yeah, and Lee, I think, has been a little bit frustrated this fight as well. Nice little right hand.
That looked nice.
That was a nice combination. That's the double left hand again. He throws a little left uppercut to the head. I want to see that left hook to the body, right? But I'll give you the same reaction every time you hit him with the left uppercut to the head. Bring the elbows up.
Ladies and gentlemen, you
can touch him with the left uppercut to the head and follow with the left hook to the body.
The very first bare-knuckle fighting event in the Lone Star State. Welcome to BKFC 76. BKFC Preview begins tonight with 3 2-minute rounds in the light heavyweight division.
Heavyweight division.
Energy drink. Get bucked up. Introducing you first. Fighting on the red corner tonight, he wears blue trimmed and yellow. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall. His official weight, an even 186 pounds. Tonight he steps into the squared circle, ready for bare knuckle fight number 4. Fighting out of Abilene, Texas.
These corners, they see what I see. They just step it up a little bit more. You gotta stop it.
But we also see that left hand too. He's not fully turning that glove over on his shot.
He's throwing a little wide there.
Across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears black. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. His official weight, 184.8 pounds. He holds a combined combat sports record of 11 fights, and tonight makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Weatherford, Texas, here is James the
Left hand lands for it. He gets countered 2 shots from the side.
And he has a pair of Buffy and Saucy. He has a big family clotter.
He was up to scratch. Is Jeff Houston and James Gray. Now Gray up to scratch as well. The battle number 1.
Right hand.
Black trucks for James Gray. Blue trucks for Roderick
Stewart. He doesn't continue with that pressure, more activity.
And that's what I hear for the body jab. There's the methodical. Never left a right hand hard entry for Roderick Stewart. To the mid-range. The body jab.
back to James Gray.
Grilled Whopper is
Scheduled for 3 rounds.
juicy
Gray
grilled
right hand.
grilled and ready for adventure.
Right, there's the 1-2 off the mark. Stewart was moving backwards. Now he's front foot again. The body jab from James Gray.
And like in the head movement from Gray, he's moving very well so far.
Big wide swings to the inside from Stewart. Good reset from Gray back to the center circle. You see the face from Gray. Again, the body jab. On the counter right hand, trying to snatch the half-time plug. Roderick Stewart with elusiveness from Gray. There's it to the clinch and a short right hand from Gray. The separation from Jan Mergliata.
I'm impressed with Gray so far, looking very smooth for his first bare knuckle fight. He's transitioned very well.
Those fingers.
Tim Mergliata telling James Gray, watch your fingers. You cannot legally extend your fingers towards the face of your opponent under these unified bare knuckle rules.
That's a little bit of frustration right there. Yeah.
50
But
seconds
also,
remaining around
I
number
know we
1.
talked about layoff and getting rounds and stuff, but
See the measuring from James
I
Gray.
think for Brandon Lee and where he wants to go from this fight, I think you need to show a little bit more too. I mean, that was a little hard on him because what he told us where he feels he should be at this point in his career.
Turn it in position from Gray. Stewart with his back.
Gray's doing a very good job of his getting off first. He decides when he wants to fight him.
No, it's not. But you know what? Also, guys like this, it's almost like it's not even on fight. It's not always easy. Here, it makes it a little bit quicker. And the hardest fight.
Nice. That's second.
Sometimes you decide, okay, I'm not going to try too hard. I'm going to take what he gives me, which is
Make it
basically what he's
overhand
doing
right.
now.
Looking for the entry is Roderick Stewart.
Oh, good. Okay, my
Time that right hand.
Nice.
Checks people with the barrel.
That's very dangerous.
On his benches, he's showing exactly what he's going to do.
He'll come through with the left hook coming down to the body when you have to hit a few of those right hands.
Nice clean right hand, the lead right.
Just go the distance a little bit more. There he lands the right hook once again. There's the nice right uppercut shot from the hip of Lee.
Oh, God. That's how.
Two right hands connect and, you know, Baraco's taking these shots.
I want to say right there, we get into a little very different book. Or maybe even a level two. Brings that shot, backs up our elbow. Let's see a level two different book to try to create the next opening. Instead, you just kind of follow it nonchalantly. That might be also important.
Well, nonchalant, that's a good word. I mean, I kind of feel like that's how the style of the fight is born. And I think he's kind of been, I'm winning every round, I'm getting the round in, I'm doing that. He's backing with some solid shots, especially
Yeah, with power stepping from Roderick Stewart to start the second
Those body
round.
shots and head shots, but you still need that little extra. What do you think?
Body jab, there's the right hand, counter right hook.
I mean, get off, bro. Like it's just, you know.
Stiff jab.
It's almost like the fight is settled into, okay, we both know
Significant punches
It's
landed
really
there.
been one fight, and then you talk about 11 months since his last fight in July of last year, but that was a main fight in 2024 too. His last fight coming out was in April of 2023, so we're talking 2 years, one fight. It's more than just that. There's no substitute for real fight activity, for real rounds. You can always in the gym, always great sparring, but with the head here in a different club size, then getting there and pushing the right leg is different.
I tell you what it are.
Three seconds from James Gray.
Next to him. If he can hit the punch, if he can land a shot, then Gray's not going to see he's going to put him down.
James Gray talked to us about up and down. Roderick Stewart with the active jab. He's been active. It's largely been down. Largely those great jabs to the Stewart body.
Nice body shot there, nice
50
right
seconds.
hand.
Number 2 again. Scheduled for 3.
You're more rich for the guy trying to beat you, but at the same time, he's more or less
Mandatory. James Gray by Daniel White will continue.
Doesn't look like it hurt Gray, just caught him coming down.
Blood across the bridge of James Gray's nose.
I think that's what everybody wants.
Right. Because it really is like how they say, like a chess match. You know, they're both big, they're both not a great opening.
Underhook from Roderick Stewart. Now the right hand. Short turn on the right from Gray. 15 seconds remaining round 2. Across the face of
That's
James Gray.
not good.
Hard step in. Left hand from Roderick Stewart. Stewart another right hand. On the overhook, the turn. Heavy on the overhook goes Roderick Stewart.
Nice.
2 rounds.
Gray did a good job of tying his opponent up there because Roderick Stewart was landing some massive shots. A few more that probably could have been another knockdown.
All right, as they touch it up now for
And
you.
there you
Cleveland's final round.
Over his opponent, Gray. Staying in his face, not letting him get away. Gray wants to dictate when the fight
I mean, if I'm asking, do you probably be put it down a round to get to the title? Probably not, right?
Didn't land clean, but it still
He
did
didn't
enough
try
to get the
himself to win.
knockdown.
I think he knows he didn't win around. I don't think he ever tried to win around.
Stewart is really starting to find his range and not letting his opponent dictate when the fight is.
His combination for Lee to start the round, and then Rahul, you know, at least he's also kind of put his head in on his chest, not as much of that side to side.
That's frustrating. That's frustrating. Just getting underneath Stewart. You can touch him with a left uppercut and then grip a hard left hook to the body.
Hands up to scratch.
Elbows come up every time we throw the left uppercut. We can just touch him with a left little snap left uppercut and then recoil it for a hard left hook to the body.
You could just that little pop step back and then come back with another shot in that moment right there.
Those are uppercuts. His opponent doing a good job, Brent's very good head.
It's great. That's great. We're not all there like we all think. Because again, the way Rahul reacts to punches is different than the way you would expect a fighter from other fighters.
You have to
But some
think Brent
shots
has
are
a
there.
sense of
One
urgency to be a
out there. Now,
knockdown in that
sometimes
last
just with
round.
1 or 2 shots to land to change the trajectory of the fight.
Definitely wants to get that knockdown.
Heavyweights that'll be in this small ring in the next fight.
They want to see how they look in there. So then between them two and the referee, I don't think anybody's confident.
I mean, you talk about Daniel Kanuga and his 86 and 3. I mean, he can stand in one corner, reach the other side with that reach. I think the walk is measurable reach at all.
Serious. Go right out.
Stewart.
Yeah, he's one of those guys when you stop and talk to him, like, I don't want to come across with you, but like, out of the other.
James Gray's left eye.
Also,
Right hand. There's
let's see what he said.
right hand from Stewart.
30 pounds. His neck is beside
See that
my
deep
shoulder.
cut now that is opened up in James Gray's left eyebrow. His left eye nearly swollen shut. 34 seconds remaining in this fight.
And the other guy doesn't work. He's like 7 feet tall.
Jam from Roderick Stewart, no real commitment.
All right, we got about 30 seconds left to go.
With commitment. Another right hand, clever from Stewart. 15 seconds remaining in this fight. Jab to the body from Gray. Again from Roderick Stewart.
8 seconds. Knock him out.
That's okay. This fight settled into, okay, it's middle of the distance. He settled into, okay, I'm going to get the win and get these rounds.
Such a scorecard time. Such a scorecard time,
Good fighting, like the one
This one shouldn't take too long for the judges to tie it up tonight.
I think that was that. James Gray definitely looked crafty at moments. He threw the body jab. He had very clever, very intelligent, very educated.
8 rounds once again in the bag for Brandon Lee, who has only lost 8 rounds in the last 2 years. So that's a good win for him. And hopefully he's very and water to keep him busy and more active now that the scoring's behind him. He's got a great team behind him, a great gym, good preparation. Hopefully getting right back into the action here real
We
soon.
talk about it all the time. Experience means everything in this sport. The way Robert Stewart is able to just relax, wait for the right timing, pick his shots. He landed a couple nice hard shots against Gray. Putting Gray down, I think that could definitely be the difference in this fight.
James Gray showing his toughness, his left eye nearly swollen shut by the end of this 3-round light heavyweight fight. Off the canvas in round number 2.
Right, it looks like
showing the respect to
Ralph
Robert
Velez
Stewart and his team.
is in the ring. Here's another look at some of those shots towards the end of the fight. I mean, some good single shots.
Yeah, big pot shots, timing shots. You get some positive on the fight that, we get some outs. An hour, kind of like a little bit. When the fight, when the round gets some knockout.
We've got to Jeff Houston.
Think what's
I
up?
don't think, Brandon Lee looked bad.
Ladies and gentlemen,
He got good round game like he needed. I think,
from our judges at
he'll be ready for the next step.
Don
Whether it's
Turnage,
140 or
30-26. Charles Weaver, 29-27. And Dylan Turner, 30-26.
Yeah, I think even talking to his team this morning, I was getting some coffee, and, we're just talking shop, and they said, yeah, this is probably...
No!
They didn't want to mention too much during the fight, they didn't want to make excuses or say anything, but, likely 147 is going to be the destination for Brandon Lee at this point going forward.
That's what I was thinking, how much energy he had to step up.
But I kept my word, I didn't make it a big deal. But I think it was a little bit troublesome here, touching out that 140, hence the 143 at the weigh-ins. All right, I think Rob Perez is in position and ready for the official decision, and I would toss it up to him now.
Now Roderick Stewart,
Think we wow. Hope he did.
26, 29, 27, 30, 26.
All three judges,
unanimous decision. Roderick Stewart defeats James
for the contest. 82-72.
Saturday, July 12th,
for
Bare
your
Knuckle
winner
Fighting Championship
by
returns with another
unanimous
explosive bout of action.
decision.
In the main event, the unbeaten knockout artist
Still
Leonardo Perdomo goes
undefeated
toe-to-toe with
from
the former
Yuba
champ
City,
Arnold Adams.
California.
Yes!